Yo, what's up, guys? So this weekend we got ourselves an interesting matchup at 425. Probably the best game of the weekend if you guys ask me. We got the Baltimore Ravens coming to town against the Dallas Cowboys, obviously. The Ravens, obviously, starting off the season 0-2. Not a good start for the Baltimore Ravens. Losing their first two games to the Kansas City Chiefs to start the season. And then losing a close, tight game to the Vegas Raiders. I almost said Oakland, but it's the Vegas Raiders losing that game 26-23. And ironically enough, the Cowboys got hammered, like you guys saw in my last video, 44-19 to the Saints. So both teams are coming off horrendous losses. Obviously, the Cowboys' loss being worse than the Ravens' loss. But the Ravens are 0-2. They're desperate. Not many teams have come back from 0-2 to make the playoffs. There's only been one team since 1999 to make the playoffs starting 0-3, and that was the 2018 Houston Texans, okay? So if Baltimore falls to 0-3, they could presumably close the book on their season because it will be a very tough ladder to climb to get back into a playoff spot if you fall 0-3. And the Cowboys, ironically enough, are going to be playing a desperate Ravens team, all right? A team that has Derrick Henry, of course, a guy they could have signed this offseason but chose not to. Baltimore has mishandled Derrick Henry the first 2 weeks of the season. Derrick Henry has only been handed the ball 30 times in the first 2 weeks of the season, only accumulating 130 yards. The Baltimore Ravens offensive coordinator, Todd Monken, if he was smart, he would watch the tape of the Saints game and even the Packer tape from the game last year in the playoffs and realize I better feed the ball Derrick Henry 30 times this game alone instead of 30 times in 2 games. Okay, because that is clearly the winning formula to defeating the Dallas Cowboys, is running the ball down their throat. Now, speaking of that problem the Cowboys have, Mike Zimmer needs to get back to the drawing board and devise a game plan how to prevent Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry running the ball. Because if they let what happened to the Saints game, let the Ravens do that, Lamar's going to run for 200-300 yards, plus throwing another 200, okay? And Derrick Henry will have a monstrous game. So Mike Zimmer better get his shit together and figure out a game plan. Micah Parsons and that whole D-line better show the hell up. Okay, DeMarcus Lawrence, Micah Parsons, like I said, all these guys, Eric Kendricks. Okay, these mans better show up, eh? Because if they don't, it's going to be another disastrous weekend for the Dallas Cowboys. Okay, they had their 16-game regular season home winning streak snapped. Okay, last weekend to the Saints, like I said. All right, if the Cowboys lose this game, they've never lost back-to-back games at home for years. It's been a long fucking time since the Cowboys have lost back-to-back games at home. Dak Prescott has never lost 3 straight games, I think, at home. So Dak Prescott and the Cowboys better show up because I'm telling you right now, Baltimore is desperate. All right, Lamar's going to have a big game. I know Lamar's going to have a big game because he knows that they're down 0-2. All right, I think Derrick Henry's going to be motivated enough to run the ball a shit ton of times. I think he's going to have a big game. John Harbaugh and Todd Monken, like I mentioned, if they don't watch the fucking tape from the 2 games that I mentioned and we beat them, then they're stupid. Then they're just plain flat out stupid. Okay? The Ravens obviously don't have that many threats throwing the ball wise, like Zay Flowers. Trayvon Diggs will probably take care of him. Isaiah Likely's the guy that they got to watch out for. Isaiah Likely had a big game against the Chiefs. Okay, unfortunately, obviously, his foot stepped out of bounds in that game against the Chiefs. So he's going to want to have a big game because he did not have a big game last weekend against the Raiders. But I'm telling you guys now, this is going to be about the Cowboys defense showing up. We already know about the offense with the Cowboys. CeeDee Lamb, he had an ankle injury this week. Didn't practice a couple times this week, but he's ready to go. Okay, we know about the run game. The run game is so suspect with the Cowboys. It's probably going to be non-existent again. Okay, so Dak Prescott's going to probably have to win the game on his own by throwing the damn football. No Jalen Brooks, thank the heavens. Okay, I hope Flournoy can get some opportunities. I know he's on the practice squad. It'd be nice if they promoted him because I really like that kid. He had a good preseason with the Cowboys. All right, so the Cowboys have to show up this weekend because after getting throttled at home to the Saints, they cannot afford back-to-back humiliations on home field because then you're going to really start asking some questions to Jerry Jones. What happened to All In, Jerry? Well, I'm surprised this happened. No, you're not, Jerry. You cannot be surprised that this happened, okay? Micah Parsons said it a couple days ago. This is a prove-it type weekend, okay? So Micah Parsons says it's a prove-it type weekend. Micah Parsons better show up, get a couple sacks on Lamar, maybe 3 or 4. That would be very nice. But you know what, guys? The Cowboys must show up this weekend against a desperate Baltimore Ravens team that is desperate for a win. They need a win because if the Steelers win again this weekend, they're 3-0. All right, they're lucky the Bengals are 0-2. Us Cowboy fans are extremely lucky that the 49ers lost to the Vikings. The Eagles lost to the Falcons. Okay? The Lions lost to the Buccaneers. The Cowboys are extremely lucky that all those teams lost the same weekend they did. And they still have an opportunity to compete for a seeded spot in the playoffs. But this Cowboy team, man, they continuously show week in and week out. Expect the unexpected with the Dallas Cowboys, guys. And that is what we're going to have to wait and see on Sunday against the Baltimore Ravens. It should be a great game. I'm expecting a great game from both sides, a high-scoring affair. But I do not know who's going to win this game, guys. I just have a bad feeling that the Cowboys will lose this game. The Ravens are going to squeak away with this win, and they're going to go 1-2, the Ravens, and their season is still going to be alive and well. And the Cowboys are going to be 1-2 as well, and a lot of questions are going to be asked to Mike McCarthy and good old Jerry Jones up at the top there, right, guys? But guys, that's going to be it for this video. Thank you very much for watching this video. Click like, as always. Subscribe if you guys really like this video. Go Cowboys, go, guys. And remember, if you do not watch sports, you are more. Ciao, guys.